What's up, everybody? We're back with SOS here.
And this is Sly Elsewhere.
And the two of us together make up the
Apocalypse
Bros. And we're back with another episode of the Apocalypse Bros. As I'd assume you'd know, because you're the one that clicked play.
Right.
On whatever you're using this on.
We just told you we are the Apocalypse Bros.
Yeah, and that's a good point, too. We
and
already said
back.
that. Yeah. So, welcome to the show.
Yes.
You're not on it. You're listening to it.
But you could be on it.
You could be on it because you could join our Facebook group.
Yes.
Jump in our bunker. Check us out at facebook.com/apocalypse bros.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple, honestly. If you
Coming
know how to spell.
down the chimney tonight.
Now, it's Apocalypse,
A-P-O-C-A-L-Y-S-P.
No,
E.
P-S. Apocalypse. We did that already.
Apocalypse.
Is that when someone else is
Reverse
trying to
P and
spell
S.
and you're spelling with them and you're like, I know how to spell this word, but I can't, like...
We didn't practice that. We should
No.
have, like, every other, maybe.
And then bros is B-R-O-S.
Yeah, no apostrophe.
No.
Because we're not, like...
No spaces.
Yeah.
Because it's URL.
Right.
You don't do those.
Exactly.
So yeah, jump into the Facebook group, and who knows? Maybe we'll get a little conversation going, and we can have you onto the show. If we need to, you can send us some smoke signals, and maybe we'll see them. Maybe we won't. That's hard to say. Puff, puff, the magic dragon.
Yes.
And it's time for the news.
News.
Send us your news. So, we're here with the news headlines for you today of what's been going on throughout the week since the last episode. Sly, do you want to kick us off with a news headline?
Yeah. There have been protests being sparked in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, these protests have actually been sparked because there has been, some sort of disagreement about whether or not to use real Rona roamers in The Walking Dead, the show, The Walking Dead.
Oh, I remember that show.
Yeah, you remember that show?
Wait, they're still going?
They're still going.
Oh my gosh.
Season 13.
Jeez.
And they took a 5-year break and they came back and just continued on with the same show.
So they were like, oh, Apocalypse?
Yeah.
I don't care.
I think all the original characters have been killed off.
Yeah.
In real life, actually, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think they made it in Apocalypse.
Totally redone.
You think, those people would, like, after going through Apocalypse-like stuff, they would know what to do, but it just doesn't translate.
No. If anything, I don't know. Maybe they were even less prepared.
Probably. They're like, oh, I got this.
Yeah. Because they're like, psh. Yeah, they got overconfident.
Right.
They're like,
Look,
I've been acting this
I
for
got
the
a
last...
two-bladed katana. I got this.
Yeah. And it turns out they did not.
Anyway.
Interestingly...
This is plastic.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah, replicas are not the same as the real thing.
Uh-oh.
That has been, like, hammered and folded 7 times by a Shaolin monk
up in the mountains.
in the Tibetan mountains. I don't know. I've actually gotten to meet monks once before. Yeah.
Like meat? Like M-E-A-T monks?
No, like M-E-E-T.
Like you've got to meet the monks.
I don't think they eat meat.
No, yes, probably not.
I'm pretty sure they don't. But when I was in college, they came to our campus. It was pretty chill.
Nice.
Ironically, given the situation, we were playing Humans versus Zombies. If any of you have played it, it's oftentimes done on college campuses, but other organizations have played the game as well, which involve Nerf guns.
Yes.
And then headbands, usually. And then half the people are pretending to be zombies. And it's just a big game of tag. So you're trying to, like, as a survivor, trying to shoot the people that are being zombies. The zombies are trying to tag you and turn you into zombies. Nevertheless, again, ironic given the Coronapocalypse that we live in now and the Rona roamers. And these Tibetan monks were on campus watching us shooting each other with Nerf guns. They probably weren't super into it, but it seemed like they laughed when they saw us run by intensely, screaming and shouting.
I believe it.
I wonder what they're doing now.
Did someone use, like, Shaolin Kung Fu on you?
Oh, yeah.
Like a panda.
Actually, they were playing lawn golf.
Oh.
Which is a very peaceful game.
Yes, it is, yes.
In so many senses of the word.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Well, yeah, so to cap that off, protests in Atlanta, Georgia because of Rona roamers, the real Rona roamers being used in the backgrounds of the Walking Dead show.
Oh, like extras.
Yeah, they're basically being used as extras.
Let me guess, unpaid?
Oh, yeah, definitely unpaid.
See, now I see why they protest.
Right, now it's not only the real Rona roamers, because, at least that adds authenticity. Authenticity. Yes, authenticity. oh, that's authenticity to the show.
It's quite authentic.
So, but yes, but they're not getting paid. So slave labor happening to zombies.
I mean, I don't know what laws exist as far as like employment, but that definitely would break some.
You know, the crazy thing is, you know, you have the sanitation union.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Rona Roamers actually have their own union.
Oh, is it the RRR?
Yes.
The Rona Roamers.
Representatives?
Yes, representatives.
Yes.
Some say the Rona Roamers Rebellion.
Well,
some
depends
say,
on the side of the coin that you fall.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Are
Exactly.
Pro or against Rona Roamers? Should we save them? Should we not?
Whew, boy, that's a tough one. Can they be cured?
Can they be cured?
That's big. Yeah. I mean, if they can be cured, then I'll be on their side. If they can't be cured, well, then it's too late, and I don't want them to hurt anybody. I don't know.
Point.
You know what I mean?
Less of them, more of us, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, so just if you're headed through that way, just be careful.
Wear your Heelys.
Wear your Heelys, not only because of the protests, but because there actually are Rona Roamers.
Yep, and it's the best defense against them.
It really is.
That's
especially against the zombies.
And them zombies. Well, unless they got
fast.
it.
Right, unless they have it. Then once again, go downhill because they lose balance.
That's right. That's right. Do some sick tricks.
Remember our tips. It'll keep you alive.
Remember our tips. Do some sick tricks.
Yeah.
That's the whole rap right there. Boom. Sick. All right. Next headline. So as we all remember, the great explorer Paul Philadelphia. You saw him. I saw him. He was in the news. He talked about how earlier this year he talked about how he was going to go explore and see how the other countries out there. You know, we're in the U.S. Right. How are the other countries dealing with the Coronapocalypse? Are we allowed to do that?
Only parts of it.
We had to do the Philadelphia version. I don't know what that sounds like, honestly. It's just,
that sounds right.
So he is back. He has returned. He reported that apparently New Zealand is completely unaffected by the coronavirus, the Coronapocalypse, and this whole post-apocalyptic situation in general, and continues to maintain a normal, modern society, as if nothing happened.
As if nothing happened.
Now, I wanted to go to New Zealand before.
Right.
And now I want to go to New Zealand even more so.
Well, that's a good point. Two things to add. One, does this mean that their kiwi population, the bird, not the fruit, ignoramus out there?
Hey, I mean, what's wrong with the fruit, right?
So are they going to be able to bring the kiwi bird back? For those of you that don't know, they have recently gone extinct in the Coronapocalypse for reasons that seem to explain themselves. They're slow, they're adorably cute, and they make for good meals for Rona Roamers. So I just explained it even though I said it was self-explainable.
I feel like as long as they were hiding some away.
Right.
Since they've been
they probably
unaffected,
would, right?
Yeah.
Seems like a New Zealand
maybe
thing,
it's not as extinct as we
let's
thought.
Let's go ahead and save the kiwis.
Let's go save. I don't know what accent I'm doing. I can do
so
one.
The difference between New Zealand and Australia.
A kiwi over here.
Yeah, see the difference between New Zealand and Australia. It's New Zealand is almost more British, I think. It's like a British. I think were they not under the British Empire?
Yeah, so basically Australia was initially, if I remember my history,
they were
correctly,
a giant prison.
Yeah, they were a giant prison for like the big.
The land of exile, literally exiled.
Yeah.
Hey, commies, go back to exile. In
That's
Australia.
right.
They're like, yeah, we'll build our own thing and have like the toughest.
And then they were like, all right, we're gonna build a whole little country here, mate.
We're gonna tame the kangaroos,
and we're gonna ride our surfboards everywhere we go.
Create our own language, talk weird.
If you're listening from Australia,
down under.
You're thoroughly offended by this point, and we apologize.
We love Australians.
We love also, and that's probably like number 2 on my list of places I'd want to go. It's New Zealand.
I think I'd have to go with a guide though, because like everything there can kill you.
Exactly.
Like, everything.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look, an ant. Yeah,
even the guide could kill you.
Right, he could. Hopefully, he can kill what can kill you.
He'd be like, oh, look at my pecs, mate.
And then I'd be like,
they punched me.
Porcupine pecs.
Oh.
That's it. 5 times back. Porcupine pecs. Porcupine pecs.
Get attacked by a drop bear.
Yes. Oh,
those are real.
Drop bears.
It's just koalas that are falling out of the trees and going. They're ferocious.
Angry koalas.
I don't know. I think I saw a video once, pre-apocalypse, of course, where 2 koalas were fighting, and it was kind of intense. I mean, between the 2 of them, it was kind of adorable at the same time.
Were they fighting over like a bamboo shoot or something?
Yeah, I think there was some food. But the funny thing was, they had completely like dropped it off to the side, and like that, it was over. It wasn't like they were actively like, I grab it from you, you grab it from me, kind of a thing. They just like set it down, and then they're just like, all right, mate, I'm gonna take you on. Here we go.
Maybe sugarcane. I know they like sugarcane.
Ooh, maybe could have been.
So anyway, that was my first question about the kiwi. My second question is, if you think New Zealand is so great, well, what happened to Old Zealand? We don't have an old United States. We have
just the United States. We
'Cause
did have pre-United
Yeah,
States.
that was just.
I mean, they weren't called.
That was America.
They weren't called the
and they were
Ununited States,
right, exactly.
but they were not united initially.
But they weren't old.
That's true.
We didn't have to reset and restart like the old New
True.
Zealand. The old Zealand probably had to.
Now,
I mean,
New Mexico, I mean, that
Right.
was, I believe, to some extent, I mean, it's definitely
it's a slight
connected
improvement.
/ owned by Mexico. So
Right.
now this is the New Mexico. You know, there's a lot of places that are like that, and I feel like that was the case. So yeah, there
New
must have
England.
been New England. That's right.
I mean,
So there
clam
must
chowder.
have been an Old Zealand.
That's what
I'd
I'm
assume
thinking.
somewhere. Maybe Atlantis was Old Zealand,
Oh, maybe.
and
'Cause-
like we just
think
completely misinterpreted it.
Zealand, sea, land.
Ah,
Land of the sea.
and then it went under the sea.
Under the sea.
That's right.
Yes. Well, I think it's better and wetter down there, from what I understand.
That's what I
What
hear.
my source is telling me.
That's what they say. Are your sources an obscure talking crab?
Does he
Anything's
speak in
possible.
Jamaican accent?
Yeah.
That's not him then.
Oh, okay. He was speaking
This
New
guy's from
Zealand
Boston.
accent, obviously.
This guy is my crab's from Boston.
Under the sea.
Under the sea, eh? Yeah,
Yeah.
throw me in the harbor.
Yeah.
I got thrown in the harbor out of the car.
Them Red Sox, man.
Man, the Yankees don't know anything.
It's terrible. I don't know what I'm doing.
What is happening?
this is
We have lost control of
this
our
is
own
the
show.
episode
We
of
haven't got
really
a-
bad accents.
We haven't even had our guest on. We don't know what we're doing.
That's right. That's right. The
haven't had our
guest
guest
gives
on,
us
right?
purpose. No.
Okay.
No. Now, speaking of our guest, who we're about to have on now.
Oh.
We talked about Paul Philadelphia, who we all know is kind of a hero.
Paulie
of the-
P.
That's right,
As he's
PP. Who is kind of a hero of the post-apocalyptic
He's
world.
been heroized.
He's an explorer, you know? He's great. He's done great things he's given us information about what's going on out there. We're going to have another, kind of a hero. He's kind of a local legend. I think word's been getting around about this guy. So this guy's name, and we're going to say it, and you're all going to go, oh, yeah, I totally know who that is. And that's Bobby Boogaloo. Bobby Boogaloo himself has agreed to come on our show. So we're going to get him on. And he's going to talk to you about what it's like being a lone wolf in the apocalypse. How you doing there, Bobby?
I'm doing just fantastic. How are you there, Stalar and Odin? Odin, I like that name. That's a good, strong name for a boy.
That's right. That's right. So in reality, obviously you all know that we go by SOS and Sly elsewhere, but of course in reality we did have pre-apocalypse.
We did.
names,
Those
which
are
is
our pre-apocalypse.
Skylar
Oh,
and Odin.
you don't think I was smart enough to break through your encryption and find out who you really are?
Well, the sanitation union really puts high regards into anonymity for its employees and those that it trusts highly, like SOS and myself.
Well, that's what you get for trying to be a part of a group like that. You can't trust them. They're coming for you eventually. I just want you to know that.
Well, I appreciate the concern.
Yeah. And it sounds like you've got some questionable feelings towards the sanitation union. Now we've had a guest on previously that also had some questionable feelings towards the sanitation union named
Rest in peace. I mean, can we talk to him again?
Rusty Buckets was
Rusty
his name.
Buckets.
Now, have you ever run into Rusty Buckets and talked to Rusty Buckets before?
Well,
Or since?
a couple weeks ago, I was down by his place and I was listening to your show there, and with the information I got, I tried to search out his secret hideout or whatever you want to call it, his bunker. I'm just not sure that everything went exactly the way he planned it.
You know, we kind of wondered that based on the way the episode ended as well. So, but I'm glad you were able to get out there and kind of give us a little bit more confirmation on, what happened to him. You know what I mean?
Well, it's hard to say. There wasn't nobody there,
Okay.
but
He's still a mystery. He could be.
it's
He
still
could
a
be out
mystery.
there.
It could be.
So where are you at right now, there, Bobby?
I'm just outside of Oklahoma City in the old National Guard Armory.
Okay. Now, do they have a pretty decent amount of equipment and stuff up there still left over?
It's been picked over pretty hard. I've been working all afternoon trying to get this old tank up and running, but it's kind of difficult for one person to run it. But
you're making
that's all right.
So you're out there
That's
on
all right.
your own then?
Well, of course. Well, not alone. I've got Stuart.
Stuart. So tell us a little bit about Stuart.
Stuart, he come along about 3 months ago, 4 months ago now. He's a friendly sort. He don't bother me too much. I don't bother him, but he prefers my company over anyone else, it seems.
Oh, well, that's nice. It's always good to have a friend like that prefers you over other people, so you can really trust that loyalty.
And how old would you say Stuart is, roughly?
Oh, I'd say he's probably 3-4 years old.
Oh, so this is like a child.
I think you misunderstand me. I don't travel with normal folks.
So
He's not a child. He's full grown.
Oh.
Is this like Benjamin Button disease, or?
No, Stuart's my cat.
Oh, well, see, that explains it.
Now, is he still the normal cat, or is he evolved into one of our more mischievous animals in the apocalypse? From a few episodes, I'm sure a fan like you would know, the narcotic.
The narcotics.
Well, I guess that's what you'd call him. I just call him Stuart. But
Fair point.
I've heard the name narcotic.
And he's got the two tails and
He's
everything.
got the two tails and everything, but he don't run with no pack.
Oh,
It's
all
just
right.
me and him.
Interesting.
That's not bad.
Interesting. He's a lone wolf just like you, it sounds like.
Two lone wolves.
Occasionally he wants to be left out overnight. I don't know what he's doing overnight, but
Hey, his business. I
Hey,
guess.
don't ask, don't tell, right?
I don't meddle in his business. He don't meddle in mine.
There you go. That's fair.
It kind of works for how we handle our raccoon producer Anthony.
Yeah.
He often goes out at night. We don't know
Yeah.
what he does. He does come back with a lot of good stuff.
That's
so
true. He
we
brings
don't
us
question
loot.
it.
He brings us merch
Yep,
for our
that's
guests. And he also, he helps bring in guests somehow
Oh yeah.
through smoke signals and various other techniques he's learned.
I
So,
think he took one hostage once, but I guess I can't confirm that.
well, yeah, we can't confirm nor deny that due to the contract that we signed to the sanitation unit.
We just go with it. So tell us a little bit about, you're out there, you're on your own. Do you ever run into, enemies, whether they be raiders or Rona roamers or whatever the case? Like, how do you handle those kind of situations since you're on your own?
I just kind of revert back to my training back when I was in the military.
Nice.
I tend to stay to myself and not meddle too much. If it seems somebody is just being preyed upon by like the raiders,
Mm-hmm.
well then I'll just gonna have to give them a little bit of high velocity lead poisoning, if you know what I mean.
I think I do. I think I can interpret that one.
Yes, throwing pens very hard at them.
That's right. Wait, is there lead in pens?
Oh, there is now.
Oh,
Ink was too expensive. They just dropped in lead,
sure.
and the lead actually is what you write with now.
Gotcha. Because I know pencils are graphite, so it
Right.
couldn't be pencils.
No, it was actually, they put lead.
I think you misunderstood me. It's not a pen, fellas.
Oh,
I got a 370 Win Mag, high powered rifle.
Oh, okay.
he's talking about a gun,
Guns.
SOS,
And bullets.
and
Well,
bullets.
how are you supposed to protect yourself? How are you supposed to hunt for your food?
That's a
You
fair
can't
point.
You can't live off of canned cat food forever.
That's true.
That's true. We ran out a long time ago.
Yeah, Anthony, of course.
Yep. But then again, Anthony's also the weapon and also
That's true.
sometimes the hunting thing that we use.
Yeah, we just, he's kind of the sanitation union's provision effort for us, I believe.
Yeah.
They said, here's a raccoon.
And
See you
then-
later.
Yep, and sure enough, he's been doing a pretty good job. We actually had one instance where a raider was attacking us, and we threw Anthony at the raider, and I think he bit it he bit the raider several times, and that was the end of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
we raided the raider, I believe.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It was an interesting situation, but nevertheless. What about Rona roamers? Have you ever run into any Rona roamers in your travels there, Bobby?
I tend to stay away from the bigger settlements, and I'll only go in if I absolutely have to have supplies.
I get that.
So it seems to me that they're kind of clustering around your guys' settlements like that, because I don't really come across them too often out in the open.
That does make sense because obviously it was spread through initially the vaccine that the
Right.
Bill Gates had put out there, so it totally makes sense that they'd be around settlements since that's where they got this vaccine at. So now you said that you usually don't go into settlements, but what kind of emergencies would happen that would cause you to want to stop by a settlement? Would it be for like trading for resources or something along those lines?
Medicine.
No, just usually resources. Gasoline's really getting harder and harder to get hold of.
Yeah, that's true.
my RV don't run on dreams and hopes now.
True. Now you've got an RV. That's nice because you can live out of that pretty easily.
And just as a little added protection, so I can rest peacefully at night and not be worried with the roamers. I've got it all armor plated around the outside. Wow. It's like a rolling tank.
Sure. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
That was going to be my next question about how it fared against Rona roamers and solar flares and the such. But it sounds like you have a pretty good setup on it already.
Are you fellas familiar with the story of the Killdozer?
No, I haven't heard about it yet. Sounds interesting, though. Do tell.
Hey, it's an old story from back before the whole catastrophe, the apocalypse, where a fella had taken an old bulldozer and plated it up with armor and drove it around for a couple hours and destroyed his town. Well, that's the kind of thing I was going for with the RV. You're not getting in unless I let you in.
That makes sense. I think that's very fitting too, because just like in the lore of that story, where he was trying to get back at the government for basically taking away what should have been rightfully his, in the same way, you're just trying to get back at the Rona roamers and those that are in the way for taking what should be rightfully yours.
And sometimes it, might makes right sometimes, fellas.
Well,
that's how these writers kind of tend to live.
That's true.
And prey upon people. And I've adopted the same philosophy. I don't prey on the weak. I prey on the ones that are preying on the weak.
So you're kind of like Robin Hood in a sense.
Yeah, but I ain't giving nothing back to nobody else.
That's fair.
That's fair. So, have you ever run into any other kind of lone wolf characters out there in the post-apocalyptic wasteland? Any friends of yours that you run into every now and then, or anything like that?
It's been quite a while. I run across a friend of mine. He was originally from Ohio. We surfed together.
Nice.
And he's kind of bedding down over there, but I just can't settle in one spot too long. It makes you too vulnerable.
Sure, no, that makes sense. Now you've probably seen a lot in your travels. You've traveled all over probably the U.S. honestly. So, I mean, what have you seen any really interesting things that most people haven't heard about or anything like that?
Well, if you get down south where the bigger military bases are, some of them are still kind of active.
Oh.
But if it was me, I wouldn't go in there. I wouldn't have no part of it. Them fellas in there, they're like their own group of raiders.
Oh.
They've got all the weapons, and they'll come out and take what they want.
Sure. With great power comes great responsibility, as they say.
Something like that.
And sometimes that responsibility can get abused, yeah.
It's a tough world we live in now, fellas.
That is true.
You got to be prepared.
That's true.
Look out for number one.
So what kind of tips would you give us as far as being prepared goes? If we were out on our own for whatever reason, or maybe in a small grouping or something, what kind of advice can you give us?
First of all, you need to be well armed. You have to be prepared to defend yourself and to take what you need. Number two, small groups are better than a large group. Large group's going to draw too much attention. The word's going to travel fast. If you're out there with 30, 40 people, I wouldn't suggest more than at the absolute maximum 10.
Well, hey, there's only 3 of us, so that kind of helps. Me, Sly, and our Anthony, our raccoon producer.
Although I do worry that if one of us looks weak, and when Anthony decides to, I think he'll strike one of us first and eat us before we even have a chance to do anything. So
yeah, that's probably true.
That is a little bit worrisome.
He'd drop us pretty quick.
I think we both know which one he's looking at. And it ain't the one with the good, strong, manly name.
I think he's talking about me.
Hey, well, at least you got that short name to sell essential oils.
Oh, I suppose so. I do need to get rid of those.
You're going to want to make sure you got plenty of food and water before you set out, especially water. Water's hard to come by out in this area.
Yes.
And most of your water just can't be trusted because you just don't know if somebody's tampered with it.
Yeah.
Like, say, I don't know, that fella from out west that tried to make a vaccine.
That's true. You never know what he was doing with the water. He could be spreading the whole Rona roamer business all over through the drinking water alone.
In the water.
Into the water main. Man, conspiracies, I tell you what.
Yeah.
They just keep on coming.
Now, I feel like someone should design a mobile well that you can just take with you, and somehow you can create a well wherever you go.
That's some sci-fi stuff.
That would be some sci-fi stuff.
It'd be useful, though.
Right.
If someone can do it.
Always
Well,
have
just
fresh-
take a couple buckets. Take a couple buckets outside tonight, fellas. It's gonna rain up your way.
Ah, that's true. Rain's clean.
That's where I get the majority of my water.
That makes sense. Can't really tamper with the rain. It's
True.
pretty high up there in the sky, honestly.
But what about that cloudy with chance of meatballs movie?
Ooh.
You
Okay,
tamper
well
with
then
the
you
rain.
got oh, that's true. That's
But in a good
true.
way, though.
Yeah, because it was food.
Meatballs,
Giant meatballs,
chicken,
ice cream. That was fun.
waffles.
You're making me hungry now.
Waffles.
These are foods that we can't even get anymore.
We do, speaking of rain and catching fresh rain, we do have some nice big rain barrels that we use for our garden outside, which is highly protected and make sure no Rona roamers can get into it, of course.
And we grow lots of basil
Yes.
and jalapenos.
We do. They say basil actually, like with mosquitoes, it actually keeps the Rona roamers away. It deters them.
So instead of a lavender scent, I should be using basil essential
It has a
oil.
very strong scent that does not smell appetizing to them. I mean, you think of basil, you think of, man, fresh food. Well, Rona roamers do not look for fresh.
Italian
I mean, they're smelling for human flesh, things that don't smell. I mean, anything that smells rotted or whatever. So they're looking to anything that they get their hands on. So if they smell something fresh like that, yeah, they're not going to come.
That makes sense.
I'm
Now,
glad you got a little bit of knowledge in that there.
we try. You know, life hacks, man. I tell you what, you find them here and there. It's usually people like you that are out there and you discover these little tricks and then share them with us. That's the only way we know these kind of things, honestly.
Well, I don't want to give away all the secrets.
That's fair.
At least not right away.
Right. You got to have the upper hand, if
That's
you get
right.
into those disturbances and all that jazz.
You give away your secrets too much, and then the bad people will get your secrets, and then they'll make use of them.
It's like a magician.
Say-
Never give away your best trick, right?
That's right.
Speaking of which, where exactly are you fellas located?
We're hidden out in a bunker out in Iowa.
In northwest Iowa?
Yes.
In a cornfield somewhere.
Yeah. Under.
I might have to make me a trip up north.
Hey,
How about
we've
you
got-
got yourself a nice supply of basil.
We've got lots of corn on the cob up here.
We do.
That's pretty much all we eat.
We'll have to keep an eye out for you so we can welcome you with open arms and
That's right.
raccoon gifts.
Yeah, I'll have to bring you some of this good Oklahoma beef if I can keep it cold.
That sounds good to me.
There's a lot of wild cattle down there in Oklahoma, North Texas. All them old ranchers, they turned out their livestock.
They're still going. They're going strong. Hey, you should bring the cattle down here where we've got corn that we could feed them with,
There you go. Just ride the cow over.
and our cattle will grow exponentially.
Make yourself into a cowboy.
Maybe we can get you a group together and bring you down here, and we can drive them like they used to back in the old Western days.
Hey, there
I
we
can see
go.
Do
that.
a good old-fashioned cattle drive.
Throw a little hat on Anthony.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna have to get me a 10-gallon hat and some chaps.
It's not like the old West though. You still gotta watch them because, well, mutations.
Yeah, that's true. I almost said I should get some assless chaps.
We
But
need
I feel
those
like that's
intact.
not useful
No,
in that case.
no. I mean, could you imagine if that's where you end up getting bit by a Rona roamer?
Oh,
That's how you go out.
yeah, that's
Wish you would have had that leather protecting them cheeks.
that's true. I mean, I'd rather not go out, but that'd be a heck of a way to go
Wouldn't
out.
it
Have you been anywhere outside of that area, or you just been bedding down there this whole time?
We haven't gone further than probably a 10, maybe 20-mile radius of where we're located, to be completely honest. A lot of our stories come from travelers.
Very
We
true.
get some stuff from the news, both from Sanitation Union as well as also from, some messengers.
Yeah.
We've had a messenger that was on our show, and he usually brings us some mail that's got like some interesting stories and stuff in it. A lot of it comes from guests that we have or guests that we hear about and things like that. So,
Every once in a while, it
listeners-
has some nice spicy dank memes in it.
Yeah, that's right. We do get some dank memes every now and then, printed, drawn.
Yeah. Sometimes just hand drawn.
Well, you're gonna have to be careful trusting that information you're getting from your sanitation union.
I
You
mean,
can't trust the government.
why would they steer us wrong? I don't know. I feel like I feel like they would. I mean, they have our best interest in heart. You know, why would they want to steer us the wrong way so that we aren't safe and we aren't doing what they want us to do? I'm sure when they tell us that we need to stay within a 15-mile radius of our bunker, it's for our own good.
I'm sure it's when they tell us to stay 6 feet away from other survivors, it's for our own good.
Exactly.
Right. And they had no part. The government had no part in this whole thing.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
sure, the sanitation union rose to power and became the largest union and the most powerful people in the whole wasteland, but I don't think that was on purpose. I think they had to rise up when we needed a leadership position, and they just filled that. So
And
really,
toilet paper.
I think we should be thankful to the sanitation union. And I'm not just saying that because it's in my contract.
You go on believing that there, sweet thing.
Well, hey, it has been absolutely fantastic talking to you there, Bobby Boogaloo. We really appreciate having you on the show. We appreciate you taking some time out of your wandering out there in the wasteland and speaking with us and sharing some tips with us and everything like that.
Yeah, the sanitation union appreciates your open-mindedness, and it also encourages everyone else to just be open-minded and understand where your resources are coming from and how to trust them.
Well, I'll have to get in touch with you again when I get closer.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, no, definitely. And in the meantime, we'll actually send you something by messenger.
Yeah, we do have some nice merch for you. It's amazing that it fits for your RV, actually. So we have a couple of them now. We have fuzzy dice. It's a nice fuzzy dice you can hang up there in your mirror. And we also have a Apocalypse Bro engraved steering wheel cover that we can put on there. Hopefully it fits.
Nice. Yeah, it's always frustrating with
Nice.
If it's too small, just let it sit in the sun and let it get stretchy and then you can put it on.
these. Yeah.
Well, that'll be fantastic, fellas.
Awesome.
Why don't you send that messenger boy on down towards the old Kansas City area, and I'll find him.
All
Okay.
right, perfect.
We'll just tell him, hey, head down there and just wait around.
Just chill.
Old Bobby Boogaloo will be there in a minute.
Find some barbecue. I hear it's good down there.
Barbecue,
Barbecue.
as they say.
Do they say that there?
I think it's up north.
Oh,
Probably
okay.
or maybe out in Boston.
Boston. All right. Well, again,
What-
thank you
what?
so much. Did you have anything you wanted to leave us with there, Bobby?
Just keep your head down. Don't trust nobody.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody
Sly.
that you don't know. Wait a minute. What's that, Stuart? No, I don't have no more of that. You had it last week. I got to go. I'm going to...
Uh-oh.
Shut up, Stuart. I'm on the phone.
Oh.
I got to go. He's not going to quit.
Oh,
All
that's all right. That's all right. We'll talk to you another time. Thank you so much, Bobby Boogaloo. It has been great speaking with you.
It's been fantastic talking with you. Dang it, Stuart. Now stop it. Put that down. That's mine. Stuart. I'll talk to you fellas later.
All right, sounds good.
Sounds like some trouble in paradise there.
That's right. Now, obviously, pets in the apocalypse sounds like a crazy idea, especially when we had a whole episode talking about the crazy animals that exist out here.
Right.
But it turns out that it is very possible to still have a pet. And we're going to talk a little bit about, that's our survival tip for today, is talking a little bit about the best pets that you can have.
Survival tip.
So, of course, we're going to be talking about a little bit about how Bobby Boogaloo obviously has an Arcadic as a pet, and what kind of pets are out there for you, and what kind of pets would be beneficial for you.
And I will say, as a little bit of a tip, number one rule is loyalty comes first. So,
Yes.
yeah, someone like, if you've had a cat for a long time before this hit, before they started mutating the Arcadics, or if you had a raccoon producer that, happened to need you as much as you needed him. Hopefully, that's what Anthony thinks.
Hopefully.
And so there has to be some sort of balance there that you can trust them, because otherwise, if you can't trust them, you never know when they're going to strike. So that's number one rule: trust
Yes.
and loyalty.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, we've found that Bobby Boogaloo has himself an Arcadic. Now, I haven't really seen this anywhere else, and to be completely honest with you, it's probably not the safest idea to attempt to get an Arcadic
I agree.
as your pet. I think Bobby actually got really lucky in the sense that, there was, they usually have kind of a hive mind about them, and so this one might have been disconnected for whatever reason from the hive mind, so it was just kind of looking for a companion. So,
Yeah.
but I would not necessarily recommend anyone else out there just going to an Arcadic and trying to say, hey, buddy, you're mine now.
It's like trying to catch a Mewtwo.
Yeah.
You just don't do it.
I mean, I would.
You might die.
It's worth the risk. That's a
Well,
good Pokemon.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying.
On the other hand, like our fantastic producer, Anthony, is a raccoon, and supposedly one of the, if I can remember what the term was, a kleptocoon.
Yep.
Could actually make a very good pet. They're usually pretty rowdy and pretty loners themselves, as they're usually after resources just for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, if you can get one to pair with you and maybe bond with you or whatever the case, that could be actually really beneficial.
Oh, yeah, definitely agree. And that's, I think, like I said, one of the biggest things is with Anthony is that, it was a job that he needed. He was able to use it for a place to rest his head. And also it provided some things for him as well, as far as, even food. Even though we know he goes out and catches it, there's not always going to be that there. He needed a place to store it where he knew there wouldn't be other coons that would be chasing himself. And as we've heard about before, he has some bit of a double life from before. Some past he doesn't like to get brought up.
That's okay.
But that's okay. So, I mean, part of that was, a little bit of a restart for him. So we lucked out with him. Now, he's obviously not our pet. He's our producer and at times friend. At other times arch nemesis. But, he hasn't eaten us yet, so...
That's not really even all that different from family.
That's true.
Sometimes you're friendly, sometimes...
You want to kill him?
Yeah, exactly. Another good example is wolves. Now, we've mentioned wolves on the show before. The sanitation union, a lot of their facilities actually have wolf pets. So obviously it's a good idea if the sanitation is doing it. You should too. So if you find wolves out there, you may befriend them. Who knows? They're usually pack animals, so it's best to only approach ones that are by themselves. Don't follow them. Keep that in mind. They will lead you to the pack. But if you find one that is very just legitimately by itself, you might be able to turn it into a very loyal pet.
Yes.
On the other hand, if you are at a sanitation union building or annex or sister company or something,
do not attempt to catch those wolves.
Do not attempt to, because they are already owned, but don't feel intimidated by them.
Right, definitely not.
Absolutely. If you are supposed to be at the sanitation union at that time, they will allow you to be at the sanitation
Exactly.
union.
If you're where you're supposed to be, you'll be fine.
Yeah, so just walk on in, unless you're not supposed to be there.
Is it wrong that I just keep singing Shakira's She-Wolf in my head and dancing to it?
I have no idea, but go for it.
No,
as long as it's in your head.
It's a
Yeah.
She-Wolf song.
Sure.
Y'all know what I'm talking about there.
I don't.
She's a she-wolf in the closet. Da, 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 da. Ooh.
Is it bad?
That's how it goes.
Is that a real song?
It's a real song.
Oh.
Look it up. On whatever music playlist there are left.
I'll see what I can do. Maybe I'll find an old CD.
Oh, yeah, mixed CD. All them Shakira CDs.
There you go.
I heard Anthony brought some Shakira with him when he moved into the bunker.
Nice.
A couple years back. So.
Those are pretty much the main pets. Most of the creatures that we talked about in previous episodes are not good pets.
Not really.
Otters.
Yeah.
The
Could you imagine if it just gets you're just hanging out, all of a sudden it gets just frightened or alerted by something, and it just all of a sudden just smashes through your bunker somehow?
If you were somebody that, like Bobby Boogaloo, was lucky enough to just happen across that one Hulk otter that would just be a good companion, I mean, good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You are well set, because that will protect you, in theory.
Right. Now, purple people eaters are very rare, so they might be really hard to come across. Also, they really don't live well in captivity, which is why they're rare to come across. So
it's probably a bad idea to keep them as
pets.
They're
Friends? Incredibly gentle, friendly. That's great, but trying to keep them as a pet, keep them in some home. That is when they go from happy purple people eaters to why they're called purple people eaters.
Exactly.
So just beware of that.
Velociraptors, maybe. If you can get one, again, they usually have large networks. It's not really safe to attempt. Unless, again, you maybe find it as a baby or something like that.
And it sees you and thinks it's like, Mama.
You touch it, and then you can't set it back out into the wild, because then its family won't accept it anymore. So
that still applies even to velociraptors. Now, the thing with velociraptors as well is it's not necessarily going to be a great pet option, but if you can wrangle up and use them as a self-defense option, the thing is, keeping them fed can be expensive and hard. So you have to be really in an area where you can provide them with enough food. Because once again, this is velociraptors. They aren't going to eat your carrots and your greens. These are the things they want your meat. So you better have some good meat on hand.
That's right.
So it depends on you. Yeah. So it depends on where you're at. I mean, you're going to have to be in a hot zone where you have lots of meat available, but it's hard to get and it's hard to protect. So something like that might work. So just keep that in mind.
Now, as Bobby also mentioned, there are still cows and bulls and other bovine like that. Those also make great pets. The one negative thing to keep in mind is that if worse comes to worse, it will be a very difficult a difficult temptation to not eat your companion.
Yeah. Don't name your bovines.
Yeah, it's probably best not to.
Just be like bovine number 1.
It's great to ride it, you know. They can usually go for a while, and that takes some exercise off of your hands, you know. But
yeah, with the horses being more used in the mail carrying system anymore these days, it is very good to. Cows have really actually been more of service animals for riding. So, slap a saddle on, bareback, whatever you got to do, and you just hold on. They do a very wide back, so a lot of times it's more laying down position, but they don't run very fast, so. It is better than walking, and you kind of take a nap when you're up there.
That's right. They have a lot of space.
Yeah, and they just stand there and chew for a while too.
That's right. So you can just kind of hang out. Now, horses would make great pets. They're very useful, very you know.
You can come across
changed
one.
Since the good old days.
You can come across one. Make sure you have plenty of wheat and barley fields for them to eat in and stuff. So once again, it's gonna be good Midwest plant.
That's right.
Anywhere where you're in the north where it's really gonna be too cold, too much, and really anywhere down south where they don't have a lot of that same vegetation, and in the desert plains. So you're thinking out west in parts of California, even somewhere in the mountain lands in the Colorado, Denver area. Places like that might be good areas for owning horses.
Now, it's tricky because we're obviously in the Midwest, as we mentioned before, so a lot of our thought process goes towards animals that would be useful. Right. Sheep are very great pets.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. They're very stupid.
Yes,
and they will follow you just about anywhere and do just about anything. The problem is they just really don't have a whole lot to offer, unless you want wool, which is great. That's a renewable resource.
Now, that is a great northern animal. Keep you warm. Right. Even in the Midwest in the winters you get sometimes, but as long as you have a well-insulated bunker.
Absolutely.
Like our guest that we had last week, you talk about. As long as you have a well-insulated bunker, then you should be good to go with that anyway.
That's right. Now, in the South, I've heard there are actually lizards that have grown to enormous size. When I say South, kind of center of the earth, tropical areas.
Sure, yeah.
A lot of lizards have grown to an enormous size. Some of them can actually make great pets, from what I've heard. If you find, like, I'm trying to think of, what's the common one?
There's the Horny Toad.
The Horny Toad.
Which is a lizard, not a toad, even the name, but is a horny toad.
Yes. Those are safe. Toads are safe. It's frogs you want to watch out for. Now, frogs will eat you.
Oh, yes. I mean...
And they have lightning-fast tongues.
If you think of the old bullfrogs, before this apocalypse all happened, the old bullfrogs literally will eat anything that is their size or smaller. So they other bullfrogs, they'll eat little birds, mice. They will even eat little chihuahuas if they are big enough.
Yep. And now they're big.
Yeah.
And they will eat people.
I would avoid swamps.
Yes.
Anywhere where you have high frog, any of that, vegetation area. Toads are fine still.
Toads are safe.
Very safe, but
they're picky.
Frog, they are picky.
Yes. Now, when it comes to like lizards, it's kind of whatever temperament they sort of had pre-apocalypse is kind of determined into how they are post-apocalypse. So things like Gila monsters or Komodo dragons, those are no-nos. You do not want to go near those. Those will eat you. They will kill you.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you have some of the smaller lizards. They're not used to the idea of eating people, so they're usually pretty chill around them. Things like geckos.
Geckos are great. Yeah. Chameleons.
Chameleons.
Also a great pet. I mean, if you can train a giant chameleon, what better way to get around town?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm told, and this is unconfirmed, but I'm told that if you take the chameleon skin, like if you skinned a chameleon, you can actually wear it, and it still works.
I have heard that. It's about the bonding, I think, between the old skin and the new. So you have to make sure that it still remains close enough proximity. If it gets away too far, it kind of forgets the cellular, however it works. I mean, I'm no scientist, but it's some sort of cellular breakdown that happens if it gets too far away from it for too long. So
that's right.
Wear the skin.
That's right.
Not weird at all.
So creatures like that would make great pets. Yeah, awesome pets. So.
And if you have any more from different regions as well, hit us up in the comments. Hit us up on our page. Send us something. Even if you have links of something of why something would be good for a pet and how that would work. So because once again we're just stuck here in the Midwest. We learn from you guys as much as you learn from us, if not more.
That's right. Absolutely.
Well, probably not more. I mean, we're pretty smart.
No, we do all right.
We do okay.
We know our stuff.
Right.
You know. So absolutely. So and like he said, leave us a comment there. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow our podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Google, YouTube, and wherever you can pretty much listen to podcasts from that's still left in this post-apocalyptic world. I almost did the whole thing
In one
without
breath.
even making one mistake.
In one breath. I was trying to hold my breath to see. I'm like,
Yeah, just to see
On
if
the
you do it.
edge
It's
of
like
my
watching
seat,
a
yeah.
movie where something goes underwater,
I know.
and you're like, "Oh, can I do it?"
yeah. And then I realized like I have 30 seconds and then I can't breathe
Yeah.
anymore. And like there's these people that are like, oh, I can hold my breath for like 12 minutes underwater. I'm like, that means you
That
are a
is not
fish.
okay.
You have gills.
You've gotten gills. Thanks.
Yeah,
to
I
the
can't. If I could make it to a
post-apocalypse.
minute, I would feel like Superman. I can't make it past like 30 seconds.
It's ridiculous.
I cannot do the Fear Factor stuff.
No.
That was a show back in the day, by the way, kids.
Oh boy, that was a long time ago. I remember that.
Joe Rogan.
Of course, like we mentioned before, hit us up in the comments and talk to us a little bit about pets that you've seen in your area. And of course, don't forget to jump into the bunker with me and Sly by joining our Facebook group, where you can get all the latest episodes and even interact with the two of us. Oh, how
interact.
cool is that?
Wow.
You get to talk to us, and we might talk back to you. Who
Maybe.
knows? We'll also be doing some other cool stuff in there, some promotional things, some giveaways, possibly. What?
Giveaways.
Who knows? It could happen.
Send them to you by the fast mail.
The fast mail. Is that what they're calling it?
Nah.
That's the
I
official
think
name they came
That's
up with?
the new marketing that they're doing. It's the marketing ploy they're trying to use. I think the marketing department was very low that day, and they just need to get something out. And someone's like, "Yeah, fast mail."
Someone was
they're
just
like,
really
"Wow,
on their butt.
yeah." I bet if we put that out,
it
they're gonna be
done.
like, "Man, that sounds fast. Let's use that mail system."
That's not a bad idea.
So
Whatever.
fast mail.
We might be sending you something through the fast mail. Again, just hit us up in the Facebook group. That's facebook.com/apocalypse bros. Easy to find, easy to join.
Easy to.
Interact
Yes.
with us. We swear.
And play.
We also do a weekly poll, which is really fun.
Weekly poll.
We ask like apocalypse related questions, and then you choose whatever answer you think is best, or add your own answer.
Yeah. And if we get enough interaction on them and stuff, you might end up seeing them on the show one of these days.
Yeah, it's true. That's absolutely true. We'll also be able to ask you to ask us questions, which then we could put on the show in a future episode.
We want to ask you to ask us questions.
Please.
I'm not sure why I did that accent.
That'd be great. Arnold.
Yeah.
I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The governor.
The guy, I'll be back.
But he won't because he'll start this term.
He played
Then
piano.
he got
He played piano because he's back.
Wow.
This has been another episode of
The Apocalypse Bros.